With the tuberculosis outbreak in Kansas City, Kansas, are you worried about potential Super Bowl celebrations spreading it further?
Well, we might as well make this one our Sick of the Week. Sick of the Week. This is a great question, and the answer is basically no. If you are unaware, Kansas is making headlines recently by having the quote-unquote largest ever TB outbreak in recorded U.S. history, which is a big headline grabber. There are two caveats, though. One is that recorded history started in 1953, and in the 1900s, TB was the second leading cause of death. So there have definitely been bigger outbreaks before recorded history. And two, that's not even true. Georgia has that title for a TB outbreak related to homeless shelters from 2015 to 2017. The Kansas Department of Health has since said that they meant the biggest outbreak in a single year, but why they seem to want to claim that record, I'm not sure. Anyway, the reason I'm not super worried is that Kansas is responding appropriately. They're doing contact tracing and getting people on treatment for both active TB and latent TB. Latent TB is when someone is infected with the tuberculosis bacteria, but their body has essentially put it in TB jail. It's confined to granulomas that keep the bacteria from dividing or getting out of the body. So people with latent TB are not a risk to others. And when it comes to people with active TB, you need close, sustained contact to get infected. It seems like the response is likely capturing the people who might be at risk to others. So I'm not really concerned about a potential celebration. They also keep saying it's not a risk to the general public, and I, for one, would love to know what the origin is, because usually these outbreaks happen in congregate settings like jails, homeless shelters, factories, places where people are indoors with each other for a long time with low ventilation. But that information has not been communicated. I also just want to point out that TB in the United States is probably a lot less rare than people think it is. Every year, we have about 10,000 cases of active TB. I think calling it the biggest outbreak in recorded history drew a lot of attention to it, and a lot of people didn't know that TB still exists in this country. So that, combined with the CDC's limited communication permission, really freaked people out. Somebody also sent me a social media post that said that the Kansas outbreak had spread to Ohio, but Trump told the CDC that they can't talk about it. And there's nothing to support this claim. There was a TB case detected in Ohio in early February, but that doesn't mean that they're connected. There's a lot of states that have active TB cases right now. You just don't hear about them because, as I spent the whole episode saying, when public health is working, you don't even notice it. Globally, TB is the leading cause of infectious disease death. It is still very much out there, and sometimes it ends up here. So this week's Sick of the Week is going to TB because it still exists.